With over $600 trillion starting to flood into the XRP ledger and pushing the price of XRP beyond $227, the biggest XRP breakout in history is likely to occur. People will become multimillionaires as a result of this historic event, which is scheduled to occur as early as the next 7 days. In actuality, holders of XRP will create wealth for generations to come, but it all boils down to trillions of dollars going into the XRP ledger. BlackRock and JP Morgan have acknowledged that XRP will lead the $400 trillion tokenization tsunami thanks to Ripple's efforts. Before that huge breach at $226, Ripple has already declared that it will purchase back more than $1 billion worth of XRP in an attempt to accumulate it at the lowest price point of $2 or $3. Imagine that. The largest XRP buyback in history is occurring concurrently with the largest tokenization of wealth, totaling over $400 trillion, and then going onto the XRP ledger. And supply shock is the result of everything occurring simultaneously. Indeed, comparable figures have also been forecast by some of the biggest and most prominent financial organizations. For instance, Wells Fargo projected that XRP may soar to between $100 and $500 in the next 2 to 7 months, which precisely corresponds with the current time frame of November 1st. Naturally, this implies that billions of dollars will actually enter the XRP ledger, causing a huge supply shock that will drive up the price of XRP to between $100 and $500. At this point, XRP is trading above $2.40 as we experience a significant recovery, and the price formally starts to rise, with volume skyrocketing. Additionally, we must highlight today that we have worked with Uphold, the biggest and best XRP exchange, and we are providing you guys free XRP up to $100 so you can build up a good juicy bag. Once more, this is a completely free chance for you to acquire some free money or purchase XRP with no conditions. Furthermore, it takes less than 5 minutes to complete the entire operation. To complete a transaction, simply like comment, subscribe, and make sure to use my link in the description to sign up for a poll. That's all. Following that, you will receive a free tasty bonus of up to $100, which you may use to purchase XRP. However, now let's dive straight into today's video because, in my opinion, it's really exciting and I know you'll love it. Thus, it has been announced and verified. In order to buy XRP, Ripple plans to raise more than $1 billion. $1 billion indeed. And in the next days, this will all come to pass. It goes without saying that this will physically add enormous sums of money to the XRP ledger. Naturally, it will also purchase XRP, which will result in a supply shock for XRP. A slow pump towards 384 is now imminent, followed by a week or a week and a half of consolidation. After that, there will be a significant pump that will hit $227. All right, let's go on to the juicy portion, because I'm obviously very excited. I'm obviously really bullish because all of this is going to happen. And once more, the fact that neither I nor an analyst are stating this is proof. The bank is actually stating it. Wells Fargo is stating that each X-ray costs between $100 and $500. That alone is bullish. However, how is that even feasible? In other words, the XRP ledger has been infused with trillions of dollars. BlackRock is actually one of the organizations that is injecting. Guys, have a look at this. In other words, this man is enormous. BlackRock has already stated that it will tokenize XRP ledger assets. And Eric Trump is saying this. Everything will be tokenized, according to Eric Trump. And more evidence that BlackRock will carry out this action. Look at this for a moment, because it's been really evident. JP Morgan and BlackRock have made significant investments in XRP. Actually, according to their study, JP Morgan and BlackRock are covertly hoarding XRP. Additionally, it states that RealFi will unlock 600 trillion real-world SMRKP tokens that are on the XRP ledger, JP Morgan will start accepting XRP, and BlackRock is tokenizing 1.5 trillion. This is enormous, guys. Let's now discuss RealFi. In fact, the largest supply shock to the XRP ledger will be caused by RealFi. Personally, I believe that the largest breakout is about to happen due of this enormous organization that is genuinely moving into the blockchain and cryptocurrency field. RealFi is this organization. Using the XRP ledger, RealFi is the first asset marketplace that enables you to purchase real assets, like as real estate, and receive rewards in the process. And as part of all of this, they may use a particular cryptocurrency that is based on the XRP ledger, the actual token, to buy real estate through the XRP ledger. Although we have already discussed this initiative, I believe it to be extremely significant since it will immediately inject the $650 trillion market onto the XRP ledger. This is the actual token, and wow, it's incredible. Check out this project. Just a few months ago, 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, this initiative was valued at 1/100th of a penny, and now it is actually up hundreds of thousands of percentages from its start. They launched about 3 months ago, so it's still relatively young, and now look at it. It has increased by nearly 3 cents, and now it is above 3 cents, and it is poised to break out toward possibly $65,000. That's what people are discussing after all. That's what experts and analysts say, and that's for you to see now. Check this out right here. It essentially states that if only 1% of the $650 trillion market enters its ecosystem, real trading at just 4 cents per token may skyrocket to $65,000 with a target market capitalization of $100 billion. Additionally, it makes sense because the genuine token has a very limited supply. There are 22 million in Phase 1 supply. That was all that remained, and clearly has a lot of support and little opposition. You see, a real multi-trillion-dollar problem is being solved by Real Token. That's the truth of the situation, and because of this enormous, it's facilitating it, so RealFi is leveraging Real Token to solve the last trillion-dollar problem. Thus, the funds that RealFi is facilitating will ultimately be deposited into the Real Token. As a result, there will be a significant increase in interactions and transactions. Because there won't be enough genuine tokens to go around for very long, it will result in a supply shock. We can clearly see that their supply is quite limited, which will cause a sharp increase in price. It has been verified that XRP will require a price point of much beyond $10,000. Why? Because, once more, financial institutions like Ripple will eventually want to purchase XRP because they understand that there will be a high demand for it, and a limited supply, which will force XRP to be valued at more than $10,000. Imagine it, but on a scale that is 100 times larger. I'm referring to 100 times less supply. For example, the quantity of XRP is 100 billion, whereas the supply of real tokens is at least 22 million in Phase 1. Additionally, the market for genuine VI is valued at $600 trillion, which is the amount of money that might theoretically be invested in the actual token. But we are talking about the enormous quantity of wealth that will soon be created, as well as the resulting big supply shock. Additionally, when you look at the real token, it has been growing at an insane rate and expanding exponentially. This isn't even because it is listed on any centralized exchange. There isn't even a mass marketing campaign. There is nothing at all, yet it keeps growing every day. In fact, new members join the ecosystem, RealFi grows, and the Rail token grows. This is the big part, guys. Now picture looking at something like Project Real World Asset Token, which is a real-world asset, and any centralized exchange lists it. I hope this video was enjoyable to all of you. I'm going to end it now. Please remember to like,